content creation, like where did that play a role? Like, were you doing any of that stuff just, for fun on the side in high school? Was it something in college? Were you not even doing it for baseball at all and then kind of landed in that world? How was that segue for you?
Of course. I have always been the kid who watches YouTube. I've always been someone that wants to be, you watch something on TV, I want to do that. Like, I've always had the mindset of, okay, like, how can I do this on some small scale? What can I make on social media that would be fun? And so I started a YouTube channel, I would say when I was about 13, maybe younger. So and it was, YouTube wasn't as prevalent as it is today. It wasn't something that kids like you could do. It was something that kids like you could do, but it wasn't as, it didn't seem as plausible or, at the scale. I mean, you're sitting there with your dad and you guys have a sweet studio. You got a sweet mic. Like, this is an awesome situation. And so I was like an obsessive fan about baseball. I had a channel that was just about baseball, cards and autographs. And eventually it was a channel with one of my best friends. And we would just review baseball cards. We'd open packs. We'd go get autographs. We'd, talk about our autographs. And it was just like something that I was obsessed with at the time. And I wanted to talk about it. And that's probably where I saw my first like taste of real social media. We had a couple videos with like 20,000 views, 1,000 views, 500. We had 500 subscribers. And I was like, wow, like this is something really cool. And it was something that at the time I was honestly a little embarrassed about too, because to me I was doing like something that appeared to be like weird. I was like talking with my voice on YouTube and my face. And I was like, I don't want to tell this to the kids at school, but now it's become this thing where it's like, if you're not doing it, like, people are, or if you are doing it, people want to get involved in somehow. Like all your friends, I'm sure they're like, wow, like you have this YouTube channel with your dad, like you have a legit setup, you have this, it's something really cool. And so I had my first taste of social media there. And then I kind of took a lapse there once I went to high school. And about junior year of high school, like I said, COVID hit and I needed something to do. And what I put my time towards was, doing what I had to do for school, because school is always important. And that was big in my family. But I had a ton of free time and I didn't like to just sit and watch TV. So I lived in the gym, lived in my backyard throwing into a net. And I also streamed video games on Twitch. And so it was a perfect time for Twitch. It was before a lot of these like IRL streamers were around. It was more video game focused. And I've always been, as I'm sure you are, because you have the courage to have a podcast, I've always been the kid that was more comfortable talking on camera, was more comfortable talking to people, public speaking, strangers, that sort of thing. So I kind of had this talent that people had told me, like, it's really so cool. You're comfortable speaking. And it's something that honestly just kind of came naturally to me and I'm very thankful for. And so my thing on streaming was I wasn't really good at video games. I was all right at some, but I wasn't insane. But my thing was like, this was COVID and there was a ton of kids and a ton of people that were looking for someone to talk to, looking for something to do. And my place was kind of like, it was a place where you could just be a friend and we could chat. And I was funny. I was like more of an entertainer than a video game player. I wanted to talk and interact with my community. I invited them, like we did viewer games. We did like stuff where everybody could get involved. And I was not a great player. Like I said, I just was someone that I was always talking to people in the chat. I was always communicating, and it ended up being like the safe place where like, these kids could watch my streams and have a fun time. Or maybe it was like a YouTube thing, like, sitting at home, they're not just staring, they're doing something, they're getting involved. And I really encouraged other people to start doing stuff like I was trying, because I was just a kid who literally picked up Twitch and was like ready to try it. And then I eventually grew to about like 20,000 followers on Instagram. I had this other Instagram for my Twitch. And then I had about like 8,000 followers on Twitch and like 50 viewer average. And it was this real taste now of social media. I'd gone from, being a kid and getting a couple thousand views on YouTube to having an average viewership of 50 viewers and sometimes people would come in and I got donations for like $500. I got donations and subs, and it was this real thing where I was, I was like these people are actually, I'm making some money off this, mom. Like I'm not just playing video games up there. Like I'm interacting with people and I'm meeting cool people and I'm building these friendships even with other people that are online doing social media. And I basically figured out that, you know, the way I was going to succeed in this sort of thing was just being someone that you could talk to and appeal to others. And like, that's really what the key to my whole social media career has been, is just, let's have a conversation. Let's talk this. Let's try this. Let's, be open to anything. And so I went from streaming to doing streaming and also helping with social media management. I was so like, a person that is obsessed. So like when I'm doing something, I get obsessed with it. And I love baseball. I'm obsessed with baseball. I love social media. I'm obsessed with social media. And so I would watch it. I'd watch a ton of content. I'd encourage you to do the same thing. Just watch a lot of stuff, pay attention to the detail. And so I watched a lot of YouTube content and realized that I had a knack for, helping other people. And that's what my biggest thing was. I wanted to help other people. So I started doing social media management and running TikToks and Instagrams for these super big esports players, these guys that were making millions of dollars playing Fortnite. And I was doing that for them. And then college baseball was coming around and I was streaming every day and that wasn't going to be possible. And I was doing a lot of social media work that had to slow down at the time. And so I took the step away. I kept about one or two of my clients, and then I went off to college baseball.